Hey guys, and thanks for coming back after the MSQ dungeon guides to start on our level 80 post-game dungeons, beginning with the Twinning. Now, there will be more MSQ incoming patches, but for now, both of these are not directly part of the MSQ, though there is some lore tied with them, which makes these definitely worth doing. Starting off here in the Twinning, the only thing you're probably going to need to worry about here is your ears burning off from the straight-up fire that you'll be listening to in this dungeon. A mix of Crystal Tower and Escape. So get your chicken tenders ready and let's get a move on. Not much here by way of mobs, just be sure to watch out for some rather large AoEs that some mobs will throw out, but beyond that, nothing out of the ordinary. Just follow the 5 Ds as usual. The first two bosses in this place are both references to Final Fantasy XIII, and our first boss is Alpha Zagnol. You're going to want to try to keep this boss and your positioning as much to the center of the arena as possible for reasons that will soon become apparent. As is usually the case, the boss will open with a tank buster and followed by an AoE, which in this case is Augurium and Beastly Roar respectively. Players will be targeted by sword markers. These markers will send out line AoEs at these players. Remember that whole keep your positioning to the center of the arena as much as possible thing? Make sure these don't hit the glass tanks on the sides. Do you want ads? Because that's how you get ads. There will also be a giant circle AoE you'll get marked with, so don't overlap. Zagnol will also use Charge Eradicated. This is a back-to-back split damage attack that will spawn 2 large flame AoEs on the ground. Standing in these will cause you to take burn damage. For the love of heaven, guys, don't try to get these things to stack perfectly one on top of the other. You can let them be offset just a little bit, but don't just stand in the same spot and make everybody else keep taking burn damage because you don't want to move. I've seen and experienced times where I moved my marker outside of the first burn circle, and the group refused to stack on me because they just wanted to stand in the fire. Don't be dumb. That wraps it up for this guy. Just keep repeating these mechanics and avoid breaking out ads. The second boss is Mithridates? I like Mithridates better, so that's what we're going for. Mithridates is another nice little FF13 cameo. Thunderbeam is ye old tank buster, so you should know what to do by now. Mithridates will also spawn numerous lightning orbs all over the ground that will explode for AoE damage. The introduction of this attack isn't too hard to avoid, but it will get a little bit more complicated later on. Laser Blade will send out crisscrossing line AoEs, so get to the safe zones in between. Finally, Elegant Thunder will target players with AoEs to move away from each other. Once you get them down about halfway, Mithridates will start using Laser Blade, Elegant Thunder, and the Lightning Orbs all at the same time. This makes the safe zones a bit more difficult to find. Worst case scenario, you'll end up stacking on top of someone with an AoE marker in one of the spaces not being overlapped by line AoEs and Thunder Orbs, but damage shouldn't be too bad. Worst case scenario, you eat a Thunder Orb and get a vulnerability debuff. As long as you don't make a habit of it, you'll be aight. The last boss here is Tycoon. We do get another remix of Locust, which is really awesome. This guy can be pretty tricky the first couple times you fight him. Magitech Crossway will send out 4 delayed line AoEs from the boss's body. Just stay out of the way when they go off. Similarly, Defensive Array will generate time-delayed AoEs on the outside of the arena, so just keep an eye out for where they're going to land and stay out of the way. Tycoon will use Artificial Gravity and stomp the floor. This will create several small dark circles on the ground that will create large overlapping AoE circles. Safe spaces are on the outside perimeter of these circles. Rail Cannon is Tycoon's tank buster, so get ready for that. Magic Crystal will target players with AoE markers, which isn't bad on its own, but this is usually coupled with something like Defensive Array, which means you'll have to avoid overlap and dodge line AoEs. High Tension Discharger is an arena-wide AoE to heal through. Once you've seen all these, Tycoon will start to use 2 or more of these attacks at the same time. So you'll see both Magitech Crossway and Defensive Array together in addition to Magic Crystal and even the occasional Artificial Gravity. Suffice it to say, there's a lot of overlapping attacks here that need to be watched out for. Again, it's kinda tricky the first couple times you fight this guy, but you'll figure out his attacks soon enough. After he goes down, enjoy the rest of the quest and the related cutscenes as this ties back into the lore of the MSQ quite nicely. Thanks for coming along, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Shadowbringers and FF14 content. Up next is going to be the Academia Uniter.